Okay. Good morning, everyone. I would like to start this first panel by thanking National Defense Institute for hosting this seminar, and Admiral Nuno Bragança for the invitation to be the coordinator of this Atlantic Center 2024 research project entitled Illegal, Unreported and Unregulated Fishing in the Atlantic. Let me also congratulate all the researchers who joined the team. Some of them are here with us. I will introduce them later. You have done a great job. Thank you very much for your support and cooperation. I will start by covering the concept of IU fishing. We have been talking since the beginning of the seminar about the illegal, unreported and unregulated fishing. I will divide my brief presentation in two parts. First one to speak about that, and the second part to speak about this research project. So, we can say that fishing activities are considered illegal when they are conducted without a license or authorization, against conservation and management measures, or against national laws and international obligations. The fishing activities are considered unreported when they are not reported or misreported to the relevant authorities. And finally, they are considered unregulated when they are conducted in areas with no applicable conservation and management measures, and conducted in a manner inconsistent with state responsibilities for the conservation of living marine resources, or when the fishing vessel has no nationality. Well, this slide shows different maritime spaces of sovereignty and jurisdiction where IU fishing takes place, mainly in the exclusive economic zones of coastal states and in the or on the high seas, where the water column is beyond national jurisdiction, but where there are many regional fisheries management organizations, which are international organizations that establish binding measures for the conservation and sustainable management of highly migratory or stranding fish species. These are the most common types of IU fishing, both in the exclusive economic zone of coastal states or in the regional fisheries and management organization areas. As you can see, a lot of types of IU fishing. Let me say, let me emphasize this, why this issue is so relevant nowadays. Well, the first thing I would like to mention is the world's fisheries are at risk due to rising global demand for fish, declining ocean health, and continued IU fishing. IU fishing is also a major threat to marine biodiversity, sustainability, and the balance of marine ecosystems around the world. And some regions in the Atlantic are among the most relevant regarding this issue. Estimates put illegal catch at about 40% on the west coast of Africa, but also the south coast of America is severely affected by IU fishing. And why IU fishing is a major threat to maritime security in the Atlantic. Let me emphasize some points. The first one, it jeopardizes food and economic security of coastal communities, since these industrial fishing fleets involved in these illegal activities disrupt the economic model of coastal fishing. It facilitates conflicts between countries, especially those that depend on it as a vital source of income. It undermines government institutions, not only because it is lucrative for criminals, but also since it is often linked to other transnational crimes, as mentioned before in the previous presentations, that take place at sea, such as drugs, arms, or human trafficking. And finally, it increases the risk of piracy and armed robbery at sea. Well, in these circumstances, the aim of this research project was to analyze IUU fishing in the Atlantic, exploring its links to other issues such as smuggling of drugs, weapons and people, piracy and armed robbery at sea, and maritime terrorism, and to identify innovative and tangible ways forward, with particular emphasis on the role of technology, capacity building, and international cooperation to reach concrete measures to tackle the problem. And for that, we have defined three main objectives. The first one, mapping the IUU fishing in the Atlantic. Then, analyze the potential links between IUU fishing and other illicit activities within the framework of transnational organized crime. And finally, propose concrete measures to combat the phenomenon of IUU fishing in the region studied, bearing in mind the role of technology, regional capacity building, and international cooperation. Well, talking about focus on this research project was it was divided in 6 specific areas of research on both shores of the Atlantic, Northwest Atlantic, the Caribbean Sea, the Southwest Atlantic, the Northeast Atlantic, the northern part of Gulf of Guinea, and the Gulf of Guinea itself. Different approaches were considered by the researchers, ranging from the legal perspective to the threat that IUU fishing poses to marine ecosystems and the sustainable management of fish stocks as well as to the integrity of security of coastal states. And these are the researchers assigned to these projects, and the organizations they are affiliated with: Rafael Zalesco from Brazil, affiliated with the Brazilian Naval College and Inter-American Defense College; Andrés Torrillo and Jorge Torres from Colombia, affiliated with the Colombian Navy; Juliet Obeng and Alberta Sago from Ghana, affiliated with the Gulf of Guinea Maritime Institute; Jamal Makrouf and Abdesalam Jali from Morocco, affiliated with the Policy Center for the New South; Tiago Marques from Portugal, affiliated with the Autonomous University of Lisbon; and finally Jacob Aloisi from the United States of America, affiliated to the US Coast Guard. And in the last column, you can see the titles of the papers presented by the researchers. Well, the researchers' conclusions show a prospective vision of the fight against IUU fishing in the Atlantic with some innovative solutions. I would like to emphasize that IUU fishing is not a specific threat to maritime security in the single region of the Atlantic. The west coast of Africa, especially the Gulf of Guinea, is the region most affected and where the link between this phenomenon and other activities connected to transnational organized crime is more evident. And the capacities of states and regional organizations in the Atlantic are also very different. The region most affected, Gulf of Guinea, also has the fewest human, material and financial resources. Several actions have been identified that can be used to combat IUU fishing. And I will end this brief presentation with this table showing the mitigation measures for IUU fishing in the Atlantic by region, following the work done by the researchers. In the first column, you can see the different mitigation measures, a lot of them. I believe they are 15 or 16. On top of the table, the region studied, and in the middle, you can find what measures can be applied to those regions. Well, I don't want to go any further on this subject because the researchers will provide